Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Back of the Shelf, a show that considers, ponders, and deliberates board games that we consider to be underrated, undervalued, and perhaps a little bit unloved. My name is Jerry, and as always, I'm joined by my fellow host, Ben. Ben, can I get a how you going?
How you going?
And as always, we're also joined by my other fellow host, Dave. Dave, in your best Gandalf voice, can you say, run, you fools?
Oh, yeah, I can do it. Isn't it fly, you fools?
It's fly, you fools, isn't it?
No, it's run, you fools.
Yourself. No, it's fly, you fools.
I'm going to Google that right now.
Anyway, hello.
Gandalf.
Oh, my God. The live Google. You don't even need to check.
Run, you fools, or fly? It's okay. The first holding companions.
Why don't you read the books? Why don't you just read the books while you're doing this?
Oh yeah, it's different in the books and the movies. That's
why. Yeah.
Ambiguity.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yeah, it's fly, you fools, like that.
Oh, okay, cool, nice one. And not as always, we're joined by this week's special and returning guest, our second favourite Aussie, second only to the phenomenal George Gregan.
Second favourite? Oh gosh.
Go Wallabies. It's Ange. How you going, Ange?
Hi, I'm great. I thought I was only second to Phil Walker Harding, but
yeah, that's why I'm confused. It wasn't Phil's name.
I didn't even know who you're talking about.
Third favourite Aussie. Sorry, my favourite. My bad.
What kind of podcast is this again?
Oh, sorry.
Who was the other one? I didn't hear it.
George Gregan. Like Australia's most
sports person,
rugby player.
Rugby. Oh. Not played that board game. Sorry.
Not played. Anyway, Ange, how you going?
I'm great. I'm a bit thrown by sports references, but that's okay. It's fine. It's Monday. It's fine.
Well,
Jello,
supposedly...
Do you remember when David revealed his innermost nightmares when the ball rolled towards him in the park? And you're giving him sports references.
Yeah, but as we know, rugby ball never rolls anywhere, so that's fine. Rugby's off limits.
Well, hey, before we get to the grit of the show, we are supposedly a board game show. So, Ange, pray tell, have you played any decent board games as of late?
I have. I'm actually fresh from playing Beyond the Sun.
Oh.
If you've heard of it. So it's a first-time designer, and it looks like just a giant org chart, and it's just tech trees, just trees for days, tracks for days.
An Excel spreadsheet.
It just looks like one of those, department diagrams that shows flow from like the start to the end kind of thing. So there's 4 levels of technology. And I sound like I'm presenting something to a board meeting as I'm talking about this, actually.
Yes,
but
super fun, man. Wow.
I've just realized it's the the sci-fi themed equivalent of a really dry Euro, because it sounds completely boring to talk about, but while you're playing it, you just lose hours. It's great.
Okay, good sell. I like that.
Nice.
A really boring, dry Euro sci-fi.
Well, it's just you upgrade technology, and then you research more technology, and then
good.
You just move about 3 types of cubes around and wonder why someone paid $100 for it. But I'm not a game reviewer for a reason. Like, I can barely describe things that I really enjoy.
Hey Ben, same question. Played anything good recently?
Oh, I came so close to getting Lancaster to the table. I learned all the rules, did the videos, but I don't know, it just fell through.
Why?
The guy, he didn't answer his phone. So we were going to go out to his house. It just wasn't answering his phone. So yeah, we did get to play that. So instead we played, me and my family played that Seikatsu this morning.
Nice.
That's a nice
Very
game,
nice.
isn't it?
It is lovely.
That's a nice
delicious.
game.
Yes,
that's so nice. And
like that one.
the daughter was only 8 and she was getting right into it and she did pretty good. Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, nice one. Dave, same question.
Played El Grande with you.
Delicious.
5-player, didn't we? That was good.
It works.
And yeah, it's fantastic.
5-player game.
5-player of El Grande.
Oh,
yeah, Jerry wasn't happy at all about the situation.
No.
Like,
Scowling at the extra 2. He couldn't decide who the extra 2 were. And then we played Medici 5-player. Again, I love Medici. It's wonderful.
What a mess.
It's got the worst
track that is.
It's got the worst game board I've ever seen in my life. But the game itself is incredible. So good.
The new one or the old one?
The old one.
It got redone, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think the new one's just as bad. It's just confusing. Like the old one is just terrible. The graphic design and stuff. It looks like something from the 70s. It was made in I think it's late 90s. But it's got pyramids, so you move up and down the pyramids. But the pyramids themselves correspond to certain cards. But what they do is they use the pictures from the cards beneath the pyramid. So the picture is like cut up beneath these lines. So you can't really tell which pyramid relates to which cards until you've played the game a couple of times. So that's confusing. But the new one is a circle, and the pyramids all work inwards. So you're moving from the outside up inwards on different pyramids around in a circle. That's confusing as well. So whatever you play, it's utterly
confusing.
Yeah, it's terrible. But the game itself is so good that you put up with it. It's a really clever game.
Brilliant.
Very clever.
Fantastic gaming under our belts. Love it.
Yeah. What about you, Jerry? You played some stuff.
Hey, do you know what I played last? I played Isle of Cats.
Oh,
that is a phenomenally huge box. That was surprising how big that box is. Can I say, little treat with the box. It's actually supposedly built big enough so that your cat can sit inside it.
Did your cat sit inside it?
My cat sat inside it. Well,
did she?
Fans of my Instagram, you'll see that one later. Absolutely win Instagram with that photograph.
I can't believe
it's got a target drawn on the inside of the cover
place
box.
Cat here or something.
Place cat here.
Yeah.
Love
delicious.
That's a great idea.
It really works.
Best thing about it.
Is the game good though?
What a weird way to market your game, but it works.
I love that. I love that. Genuinely though, the game is it does live up to the hype. It is something I believe, Mr. Livens, you would absolutely adore.
I think I would. Is it as good as Baron Park?
Well, it's got everything that Baron Park provides, but it's got an awesome action draft at the beginning or card draft. So with that layered on top of what Baron Park does, it's pretty tasty. It's well worth checking out if you haven't played Isle of Cats.
Yeah, I'd really like to play it.
I think you'll like that one.
I like Tile Lane. Anyway,
we've got a slightly different show this week, but before we get to that, Ange, do you have a quiz for us?
I sure do.
Oh, and fun.
Do you want me to describe it, or are we going to? Are we going to have a non-descriptional title slide come up?
Should we?
Do you want me to do my title
slide? Card and we'll see if we can decipher what the game could be.
Just pre-warning, I didn't know what the game was called,
which is why I'm hanging for this.
And I kind of ran out of time to do this.
Oh, you didn't know what it was called?
No, I didn't know what it was called, and I forgot to do it.
I did tell him 3 or 4 times, but
until the last hour. So
you're gonna have to edit this out now.
Yeah. Hopefully, no, I never edit anything out. Hopefully, you won't be able to tell that this only took me 5 minutes to put together. But here goes.
And you didn't know what the game was.
And I didn't know what the game was called. And sorry about the non-music, but I did do sound effects, so I hope it's appropriate.
Amazing.
There you go.
That is probably your peak work.
Any keen observers would have noticed Jerry surfing in the background.
Yes, I did.
That was actually a picture from Gerald's holidays. So I just added that in the comment.
As always,
and it's not when I have to say, "Is that a kangaroo?"
That was a Benaroo. Yeah, I didn't want to go with all the stereotypes, so I just went with that.
Based on that, Ange, I have a feeling you may have to explain what this week's.
Okay,
yeah, please do. Because I have no idea, even though Ben's told me, apparently.
Thanks.
If you could clarify, that'd be really helpful.
Considering you had zero brief to input into that, then it's not too far off actually. So the game is called Play the Rainbow, and noting that I didn't explain any of the game to anybody, I just said there was going to be a quiz. So what I'm going to do is there's 6 different colors. I am going to go in vague rainbow order. Okay. And I'm talking, I've just realized there's probably different editions of these board games, but the answer is going to be a board game and the color of, if you had the board game on the shelf, that's the color that you're kind of looking for. Okay. So the color starts off as a hint, and then I'm going to I'm going to say a mechanism of that game.
Yeah.
You still can't guess what it is. Like, how dare you? I'm going to give you the theme of the game, and then I'm going to end up with the designer of the game. So hopefully Ben has a question.
Do you only have 6 colors in Australia?
Well, I wasn't sure how to do the indigo violet thing.
Oh, okay.
Like, I acknowledge the existence of Roy G. Biv, and I'm sorry if anybody feels like indigo and violet have been erased, but you are now purple. And also, it means the quiz is only 6 questions, and there's no debate or 5 minutes of awkward silence while you try and decide what board game is actually indigo on the spine.
Damn you, science. Who cares?
Yeah, that's right. Sorry if you thought this was going to be educational and scientifically accurate, because that's not what we're here for. I can give you facts about kangaroos instead. No. So play the rainbow, and then I thought there was going to be some crazy. I didn't even know what was going to happen from that title slide, but here we are.
Sorry, I tried.
No, don't apologize.
You can try now if you want.
I'm surprised you made one.
If you want to, like, just say the name of the, I'm sure it'll flow wonderfully. If you say the name of your game again, and Dave can play in the title card, I'm sure it will be seamless.
The old play the rainbow. Okay.
Yeah.
The mic is muted when the video plays. Have we not learned? It was an authentic Australian cicada sound in the background, though. So
I researched that.
Little thumbs
Did
up
you?
there, Dave.
Yeah, I went onto the website I used for the sounds, and I put in Australia, and that came up, and I thought that would do.
Oh, really?
The first thing.
Surprised you didn't get some kind of whale or a shark attack or something. I don't even know.
Shark attack wasn't on there. I mean, there were obviously the stereotypical stuff, and I didn't want to go that route because I thought that's not what we're about. We respect
the sound of board games. Yeah, that's right.
So I thought I'd go with cicadas.
That's not what we were about.
It's not what we're about.
So many things you're not about, and that is not one of them. Yeah, that's right.
We're not about knowing our Lord of the Rings references either, apparently.
Well, transpires, Dave. I found out for you.
Oh God.
The original theatrical release is Run You Fools, and they dubbed the DVD release to Fly You Fools.
Why?
Get out of here.
To be
You've been reading the subtitles wrong.
To be in line with the original text, apparently.
Yeah, but obviously.
Wow.
So we were obviously talking about the original books, obviously.
Cool. So let's quiz it up, then.
Yeah, sorry.
So the first question.
Yeah.
I was going to say, are we ready? I think we're ready to move on from Gandalf.
Yeah.
Are we just shouting out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I'm ready.
Or I don't know. How polite do you want to be? Do you want to buzz in, or
it's fine? Not very. It's cool.
Or do you want me to ask like in alphabetical order, and then if
no, we'll shout.
No, but then that's not fair because you'll probably get them all.
Yeah.
No pressure.
We'll just shout out.
Okay. Yeah.
Just shout it out, and then the group can decide who got in first.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we're starting off with red.
Mm-hmm.
Think of all of the red things.
Okay.
You can just look at all the red things in the background of Jerry's shelf. All right. So contract fulfillment gives away so much. Space exploration. Think red things in space. That will probably get you most of the way there.
Red things in space.
Oh, you probably don't have this game.
Maybe I don't.
Vital Lacerda? Red things in space. You could probably just guess it.
Is it
on Mars?
Yes.
Really? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Let me guess. None of you have seen the game or played the game or seen
I've never
on somebody's shelf.
I've seen it. I've never played any of Vital Lacerda's games, I don't think.
No.
The box is mostly red, I assure you.
Yes. Yes, I remember it now.
I thought that was going to be an easy one by the time I said space.
Oh dear, that's not a good start.
Space
and Vital Lacerda, but here we are. That's right, you got there. Orange. This is
okay.
Now that I think that the easy one wasn't easy, then all right. So, orange, limited communication.
Codenames.
Yes.
What?
Ben.
The hell?
Bulk coffee today.
Wow.
And yeah, the next clues that you didn't need were spies, and then in parentheses illustrated, because it was Codenames Pictures that's more orange than the original Codenames. But Codenames have worked as it has.
Yeah.
And Vlada Chvatal. All right. We're on the ball here. That was the easy one, apparently. So yellow. Remember, this is on the shelf, so it's yellow on the shelf.
Okay.
Maybe different when you're looking at a different angle. Set collection.
Splendor.
Renaissance. Yes. Was that Ben again?
It was,
Yeah.
Wow. What have you been eating? What's going on?
Board games.
I sit in front of my board game shelf all day just here.
I just thought, like, it's on the shelf, but like when it's not on the shelf, it's not yellow. So that was the tricky thing there. And Marc Andre, who I never remember who designed Splendor. I just remember Splendor. All right.
Yeah.
I thought Renaissance Merchants would just confuse you all because that's everything,
Every
right?
game ever.
Every year ever. All right, so we're on to green.
Okay.
Auction/bidding. Once people think green games, you'll probably get in the ballpark of this.
Games.
Infrastructure expansion.
Power grid?
Yes.
I got one.
It should start with F. Power grid.
All right. In the game.
Funkenschlag. Friedman Fries.
Nice.
I thought as soon as I had green, everyone's gonna be like, "Yeah, okay, which one is it? which Friedman game is it gonna be?" All right, we're on to blue.
Okay.
Stock holding.
Acquire?
No.
Oh.
Is acquire blue? Sorry.
No.
It's
black.
Isn't it? It's blue.
It's black and red. Oh, actually, it depends
my
which
God.
version.
It's blue. Yeah. Okay.
I got the crappy version.
Aviation.
Oh.
Pan Am.
Yes.
Yeah.
David. I thought Ben was going to get it because he's played it recently. Designers, Prospero Hall, whoever they are. And finishing off with not India or violet, but purple.
Nice.
Oh, this could be a three-way tie, couldn't it?
Could be. I don't know a lot about board games though.
It's all right. Good thing I have a tiebreaker.
Nice.
The tiebreaker color is white. You're all doomed. No. So pick up and deliver.
Okay.
What sort of colour is this? Sorry.
Oh, witch's
Purple.
broom. Witch's broom.
Purple.
Ben's on the right track. You just called it the wrong thing.
Broom service?
Magical Uber. Yes, that one.
Yeah. I got that, and then nothing to do with
Should
Ben.
I give it to Ben because it means that Ben actually wins? So apparently, Broom Service is a remake of Witch's Brew.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I
like
didn't.
Broom Service,
Apparently,
though.
is
Broom
it
Service
called
jolly good
Witch's
fun.
Brew? Oh,
No,
is this coming down to regional differences?
No, I shouted witch's broom. I didn't even know which.
Oh,
That's what I could think.
yeah. So Broom Service used to be called Witch's
Service
Brew,
is
or
good,
what
isn't it?
it's based on. Yeah, it's
It's the only Alexander
Andreas?
Pfister game I like.
Andreas Pelikan and Alexander Pfister. So it's not.
I think that's the only.
Pfister.
That's why, because it's designed by someone else as well. I don't.
Have you
like
played other
Alexander.
Fisters?
I have played other Fisters.
Enjoy that on the podcast.
No, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Fister.
Yeah, you are. You love it. What was the
So
what
if
the
that
tiebreaker?
was Jerry, then yeah, then it is actually 2 each. Why didn't I pick 7? That would have been a good number of questions to have to avoid a tiebreaker. No, okay. So the tiebreaker question is going to be, you're just going to have to be the first person to yell out a valid answer.
Okay.
So the question is, name a game with the word red in the title.
Red Cathedral.
I didn't hear what Jerry said, but I heard Red Cathedral more.
Yeah.
It's David. What did you yell at? Just red.
Is it called Red Alert? The one that.
Oh, there is a game called Red Alert.
Yeah.
All right, everyone yell out a game with orange in it. No, this could go forever. The third tiebreaker is no. I actually read I can't remember which game it was. It might have been Stella, which I haven't played yet, but I read the rules recently. Right. Where it's like after 3 tiebreakers, if the game is still tied, the 2 players bitterly share the victory.
That's good, yeah.
Horrible.
Well, if that's not true to life, I don't know what is.
Share victories after a tiebreaker, do they?
Exactly. It's
so
like
bad.
You might as well be told, like, oh, just play another game and get over yourselves.
It's very true.
Does that mean we all win? Are we all winners?
It means I win.
You're all winners, but David slightly more.
Oh.
Just like in real life.
Well done, David. Bravo.
Thank you.
Well,
I should have said the true tiebreaker is if you do name a game that I own, then that's like the greater tiebreaker of red games. Because I do actually have Red Cathedral, so you know.
Oh, there you go.
Here we are.
Is it good?
It is pretty good. Again, pretty boring, but you do get to build a cathedral out of cards, so you know it's fine.
Absolute
Not three-dimensional, obviously.
No.
Oh, disappointing.
So just move cards around the table.
That sounds just like other games.
It is actually a lot like other games, but there's enough of a rondel thing going on with, I don't know, hustling for dice. There's something, I don't know. It's this close to gambling, and I'm sure that's why it calls
nice.
to me.
I nearly got this for Jerry's wife's birthday, but instead I picked Euphoria. So
it's a good choice.
I kind of glad.
Euphoria is lovely.
Love Euphoria.
Love it. Well, hey, thanks for the fluff, Ange. Love that.
Yeah, there you go.
Congratulations,
we're all warmed
David,
up
on your
now.
win. Congratulations. Now that's all said and done, I think it's time we move on to the main segment of this week's show, which is slightly different as opposed to us just individually choosing a choice for Back of the Shelf. Ange, do you want to explain the premise of this week's episode of Back of the Shelf?
So to perpetuate the unconventional episode, I thought, hey, we could do a pack of the shelf.
Oh, lovely.
I don't know if there's no title for this, is there? I should have announced it with such excitement.
Sorry.
True to form, as exciting as it is to move house interstate with, approximately 100 or more board games, I thought that I could enlist you guys to help me, decide what the ideal capsule wardrobe of board games would be.
Okay.
So make sure things are vaguely portable, easily teachable. I'll be on the road for a couple of days and then probably homeless for about a month. So
okay.
I will be that guy in the corner saying, does anybody want to play a game? And it has to be suitable for that purpose, but to make it pun worthy and more presentable to an audience. It's not what game would you push onto someone on a street corner. It's what game would you like to pack for a very summer of board games kind of thing.
Phenomenal premise. Well, in that case, Ange, I believe we each have 3 choices to present to you. We'll present them in turn, and then perhaps after each choice, we can decide which one's your favourite. How about we do that?
Sounds good.
Okay, then. So let's start off then with our number 3 picks. Ben, do you want to start this thing off?
I can start off, yeah, right?
Go for it.
Okay, so I should point out as well, I was actually speaking to Ange for about a week running up to this, trying to arrange it. Gerald, I didn't give any information to whatsoever, and Dave sort of got on about a couple of days ago, and I've just realized that we were supposed to be doing something because Ange used the word "on the beach" at least once, so I've kind of put my games with that in mind, and I realized I probably should have told you that. So okay, well we'll get.
Okay.
So basically, Ben has stitched up everybody else.
So apologies, but okay, you can have a bonus point for that. Okay, so my first one, because it requires almost no components, and in fact, you can make the components yourself because the game is all in the interaction with people. So the first game I would suggest bringing is Resistance. Endlessly replayable. Brilliant to get people going. If I'm having a quiet day in school, I can make this game in about 5 minutes and get the kids going. Just so little table space required. You don't even need to put anything down. You can go and give people the things. If that wind comes across that beach, you can just help. Don't have to have anything lying on the floor. Resistance. Perfect game
you
for a
in
little
school,
tiny space.
Ben. Sir, please can we learn science? I don't know.
It's just
making a board game for you.
Is this the new we're going to watch a video today?
Oh no, another game of Resistance. Sir.
Love it.
Oh, please.
How many hours have you spent making Through the Ages while supposed to be teaching?
So
okay.
What are we doing today, sir? Just be quiet. You're cutting out Albert Einstein.
Wheel in the TV and put the VHS on.
Okay, nice. Resistance. Good pick. Quite a big box though, eh? Or was it not?
I just said you can just make it. You can make it out of bits.
You don't actually need the game. Just put like some twigs and some note paper.
Tiny little rule book. You need nothing.
Okay.
How do you make resistance? Do you just
get some
write on pieces of paper
with ticking across and.
Ben's been playing it wrong. He points at people and goes, "You're a spy, and you're a spy, and I don't know."
You go to one of those good schools that has like the card manufacturing plant at the back.
Yeah,
laminated.
I get through like 15 games of Resistance in an hour. I think, do I have to... Spy. Yes.
Excellent first choice there. Well, Ben, what's not Ben? What's your name? Dave. Sorry, it's because you look alike. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your number 3 pick? I guess.
My number 3 then is a game that you couldn't really make yourself because it wouldn't look very good, but it's the perfect game. It could be good on a beach, actually. I'm not phased by that beach thing. This is a small box game called... In fact, you can get it... I've got it in a box about this big, but you can get it in a small... I've seen it in a deck size. For sale.
Nice.
A great game. Goes to 6 players. So you can play it 2 players. It's... Well... No, you can't. Can you? 3 players.
You can't.
I've played board games before. You can play it 3 players or more, and it's good with every player count, but it is good for groups because it takes 20 minutes. It's always fun, and there's not really many components. There's a deck of cards and some coins, and if you don't have the coins, if you're on a beach, you could just use pebbles or something.
Don't you have to put the cards down though?
What's that?
Don't you have to put the cards down on the?
No, you can stick them in the sand, just facing you, so no one else can see them. And then when you turn them around, there they are.
Amazing.
I thought of it all.
Yeah. Covered all the bases there.
You could play it on a surfboard if you're out at sea.
Yeah.
And yeah, if a wind comes, then you're fucked. But don't even worry about that. Put a windbreaker up. That's what they're for. So yeah, for sale. I think it's a good game. Okay. And also, you can actually get it in a tiny deck box.
I was wondering how they made it that small, actually.
I think
there's no currency in it, or
I don't know.
Maybe
I'm
the currency is cards.
Maybe, or maybe it is cards. Or the coins are. I mean, no, there's quite a lot of coins, aren't there? Yeah, I reckon it is. It must be cards. Don't know. I'll look that up whilst Jerry's talking about his choice.
I was just thinking there should be a weatherproof version of for sale. It'd be great if there was a bag and little tokens or little houses.
You could laminate
like your little
cards,
houses, and you just pull them out, and then
Yeah.
I say this as if I go outdoors all the time. It's not. I think I know now where Ben's got this from because I thought maybe the criteria should be like, what can you take to a picnic that won't get destroyed?
Yes, that was it. That's word for word what you said.
Yeah,
but
I didn't say on the beach. They are words that I would not.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Even better. This is better at a picnic. So there you go.
Okay, I love that. Well, hey.
Okay.
And now Jerry's changed his mind 3 times.
Yeah, just trying to think.
Twilight Imperium. All of a sudden, you'd lose all those pieces of Twilight.
Outside at the beach? Oh no.
Oh look, Dave's so upset about.
He's gone.
He's done a walk off.
The fact that it's not actually set on the beach. He's just gone.
Do you think he's?
Well, hey, while we're here, because we don't really need Dave for this, my number 3 pick, I think is one of my staples. Whenever I go on a holiday, I would always bring a copy of this. Is the fast-paced deck-building card game of outer space combat, Star Realms. So even though it's so one negative, it is only a 2-player game. However, if you're au fait with deck builders, Star Realms is super duper easy to learn. Obviously, one of these games takes a lifetime to master. Ben, I do believe you were the first person to introduce me to Star Realms, and
I did.
You had a clean. It's like you had a clean sheet against me. You thrashed me every single time.
I didn't.
I'm pretty sure you did. It's one of these games which I absolutely love and I'm really bad at. But nevertheless, it's a very simple deck building game where you're building up your space fleet of these 4 different factions. You're putting bases down and you're very akin to kind of Magic. You're trying to destroy, it's called authority in the game, which is the power of your opponents. And you do so obviously by building up the power of your individual ships and that sort of ilk. But yeah, for those sci-fi deck builder fans out there, Star Realms is my definite first pick. It's also it's a pretty hench deck of cards, but nevertheless, it is just like a deck box. So it's very, very portable. If you are willing to take an extra box with it, I think only very recently the expansion came out where you can play up to 4 players of Star Realms. But I haven't tried that one yet. I've only ever played the 2 players. Suffice to say, that's my first pick, Star Realms.
That's a good one.
Ange, out of those 3 games, what do you think?
I was going to say, I need to preface this by saying I haven't played Star Realms.
Okay.
Or Resistance, but I know enough about Resistance.
Okay.
You haven't played Resistance?
No, I haven't.
Ben will make
Morgan in the world that hasn't played
lots
Resistance.
of people and going to a good school apparently. So
you're gonna have an envelope
exposed to Resistance. Or I've watched The Goonies about 15 times because teachers can't be bothered teaching. But anyway, the homemade Resistance just sounds like it's a winner. I'm sorry.
That's fair enough.
I do like the sale, but I don't like the idea of losing all my money because that's half the game, right? Unless David figured out the way that it's done in the portable version.
It's money. I had a look.
It is just coins.
They fit money in that tiny box.
So it's all punchboard at first. So when you open it, it's neat because the punchboard is like card size, and then you take it out and punch it all out, and then basically it's like, well, that's up to you now. It's your problem. You bought it. That's what they've done. Yeah,
you just need a wallet.
So I think it's one of those situations where you put the cards in and you started putting money in, you realise this box is rubbish.
Okay.
No.
Although I am compelled to get Star Realms now. I'm surprised that you suggested a 2-player game.
It's worth checking out the app as well. It's a phenomenal app, even if you don't get hold of the actual card game. But yeah, Star Realms on the phone is a very, very addictive game. But check that one out.
I do remember I brought that because I'd read the rule book several times, couldn't make head of it. It was such a strange thing. I just could not get my head around it. And we set that up and we'd learned that in about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's
very, very good. But like you say, it's a weird one because it's only until you actually get into the gameplay that you're like, oh my god, this totally makes sense. It's very intuitive, the gameplay and that sort of thing. And yeah, like, it does help if you have played deck builders before, but nevertheless,
I like the idea that
it's definitely worth a look.
A 4-player version sounds so much more appealing to me because I really like that. I like it, but being only 2-player, it doesn't make it to the table a lot.
Yes, that is its kind of one fault. But I do wonder how it works at 4-player. Like, obviously, how do you prevent everyone just ganging up on, I suppose, you, Dave, when you're playing it, right?
Yeah, that does.
Or is it like a weird team thing?
It's sad when you don't make a rebuttal.
It's. I suppose it's like Dominion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't gang up on each other in Dominion so much. You don't gang up on someone because you just generally you can't. I suppose the turns are so quick and it goes around the table. I don't think that would happen. Not in the deck. Unless you're playing with Tom and Ben's there, then Ben will just, tell Tom off until he cries. That happens.
Not explain the rules and then just thrash.
Yeah. But other than that, that's
nevertheless.
Explain to me this game without even talking about the main mechanism in it, but sure.
Yeah, that's it.
So Ange, first thing you're packing then. Ghetto version Resistance. Not even the proper version.
It has to be homemade, but the thing is that also hit home for me because there were that many times when I was growing up that my dad said, I'm not going to buy you Scrabble. You can make that. That's just little bits of wood with letters on them.
Oh, man.
I'm just like,
a sob story
Dad,
now. No.
This is embarrassing because, yeah. But, and yet, he would spend money on Mousetrap because obviously that was far too hard to make. It's a waste of money, right?
Love that.
How long did he spend trying to whittle bits of Mousetrap out
he
of wood?
That was my dad's version of we're not getting that because it's not value. He saw Mousetrap as there's a whole bunch of crap there that I can't make myself, so that's value.
Okay, not just some crappy letters.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, exactly. It's like a bunch of letters on wood. Why would anyone pay for that?
Right, packing started. Ghetto Resistance. So let's try again. Our number 2 picks. Dave, why don't you start this time? What else should Ange pack?
Okay, I'm going to go for a 2-player game now.
Okay.
It's the only 2-player game I have in my list, so I thought I'd pick this one out of all of them because this is the most weatherproof, not only 2-player game, possibly the most weatherproof game ever made. Hive. But more specifically, Hive Pocket, because Hive itself is too big.
Oh, it's there. There you go. It's already packed.
Perfect.
I know, right? I'm just I was going to talk about it and I didn't have to.
Okay. So absolutely, not only is it weatherproof and just lovely because it's all, for people that don't know, it's all, what's the word? Like Bakelite. Bakelite, right? Yeah, it's all like Bakelite tiles, and you've got white and black. So there's only 2 players, one playing the black and one playing the white. There you go, with different bugs on. But it's
like
just
show and tell.
yeah, it's perfect. I hope you've got this for all of the games on the list. And it's no homemade resistance. But, it's just it's just a phenomenal 2-player game. It's possibly one of the I'm not gonna say the best, but it is up there. It's one of the better 2-player games out there. Very clever. It's very much like chess, isn't it? For those that have played it, you're basically you've got a bee and you've got all these bugs, and you're trying to surround the other player's bee by moving these bugs cleverly. And it's 20 minutes long. As I say, the pieces, that's the game. The pieces are just all Bakelite tiles. It comes in a nice little bag, and you're done. You could play that anywhere. You could play it on the beach. You could play it at a picnic. It doesn't matter if it gets wet because it's just Bakelite. So yeah, there you go.
I'm always so impressed by that game. The way, obviously, the tiles make up the, I guess, kind of board where you place your initial bees and everything. I'm always so impressed how they've managed to integrate kind of the movement of the insects into the game. So, for example, like the ants don't like swarm around the outside to try and surround the bee, and the grasshoppers can jump over the other insects. Man, I love that game.
And the mosquito copies the whatever bug it's touching, it can copy that ability.
Yeah,
it's so clever
and copies it. Yeah, that's a phenomenal game. I love that one.
Yeah,
don't they have that snazzy? Isn't it like a grayscale version or something as well?
Yes, I can't remember what it's called. There is, but again, we've talked about this before on the podcast. But the pocket ones are, they're like this big, like Andrew's just holding up. Whereas the other ones are like this. They're about 3 times.
Is it actually that much bigger?
It's quite a lot bigger. Yeah, I'll try and find a picture. I'll put it up. But yeah, it's I think it's much better having the pocket version, because not only does it doesn't come in a box. It just comes in a bag, which is so much better.
Yes.
If you get the normal version, it comes in a much like a bigger box, and it just, I don't know, it just doesn't look quite as good, I don't think.
Okay, strong first pick there. Well, second pick, Dave. Hive Pocket. Let's hear my voice now. I'm going to talk about everyone's favorite reverse set collection game that has nothing to do with poker, Cockroach Poker. So I have done a back of the shelf for this game because it's one of my favorite small box party games. As we know, I don't particularly like playing with many people, but when I'm forced to, Cockroach Poker would always find its way to the table. And this is a game all about bluffing. And you're basically trying to force one of your opponents to gain a collection of these bugs by moving cards around the table and lying about them, or telling the truth, depending on your preference. There are different bugs such as stink bugs, cockroaches, frogs, and flies, and all that sort of ilk. You slide your card across the table. You can either say what it is or lie about it. And that person can either pass it on to continue the charade, or they can call you out. And if they're incorrect, they gain the card. If they're correct, you gain the card. Very, very simple game. It's hilarious. It's tense. It's awesome. And because it's such a high player count, you can make friends whilst playing. It's a perfect icebreaker, Ange, for when you're sitting there lonely on those street corners and picnic benches, begging for people to play with you. Man, this is a perfect way to meet strangers. And
lie to them.
And lie to them. And make them look like fools. But nevertheless, my second pick is Cockroach Poker.
This was on my list, actually.
Is this your number one game?
Big. And it's small as well. It's
very small. Don't necessarily need the box, even though the box is fantastic. You can just take the deck of cards, another light deck there. Ben, what's your second choice?
It's a good one.
Cockroach Poker was on my list.
Yeah.
But I suddenly thought, if you're at the picnic, because you have to have them laid out in front of you so everyone can see them, can't you? So if the wind comes in across the picnic,
with this wind,
that, isn't it? Right. So
it's very windy in
Australia. It had to be the picnic.
Very windy.
Yeah.
I need to let go of everything at a picnic in Australia. Like, we do have indoors.
Well, also all those snakes and spiders, you can't put anything down because they'll be in there. So
we've just got real bugs everywhere. We don't need to play with them.
Bugs in the cars. What are you going to do?
So, my choice, my second one is Skull King, a trick-taking game. And the key trick-taking game, you're playing cards to try and beat the previous score, but there are various special cards which can negate those things. Absolutely love this game because it's a trick-taking game, but the key is you have to predict how many you're going to win. And I absolutely love it because the key is once you've won a trick, you don't even have to put the cards down for the spiders to get hold of. You can just show everyone, and then you have a pile of tricks. You could put a stone on top, so the wind doesn't doesn't take it away. So you can have that there. No wind. The wind can just do one. Doesn't matter.
Do one win.
Brilliant. So not only is it,
we're not talking about sleeving this.
Not only is it a brilliant game, also very handy for windy picnics.
Won't blow away.
You can hold it down with your homemade resistance.
Exactly. Your stone resistance.
Ben, is Skull King a tough teach?
No. The only because you get the
yeah, it is.
No, you get the
Yes, it is.
You explain the trick taking, right? You have to
Okay.
follow suit. You have to make sure that everyone can see the reference cards, so you can see what beats what beats
ensuring that they're weighted down, not blown away.
Yeah. Well, I just hold them while they
faces. Okay,
just carve them into marble.
How does it work? Do different suits beat other suits? Is that
so?
This is where it's complicated to explain.
It's if you lay down a color, then people have to follow the color, and if they get the higher number, then they win that trick. But there are various cards which you can play out of sequence. So if you have a really powerful card and you really want to win that trick, then you can play that card. But you have to be always careful. It's not about winning the most tricks. It's about winning the exact amount of tricks. Because if you get too close to your bid, your predicted trick win too early in the round, then for the rest of the round you're trying desperately not to win tricks. Oh, it's delicious. It's delicious. I love it.
What?
When you're trying
trick taking, I don't love explaining trick taking.
Well, it's not crazy difficult.
The thing is,
have you played Hearts and Spades? Yeah, it's nothing like that here at the
the problem I had with Skull King explaining it is it's trick taking on one level, so that's fairly straightforward. And then you've got this whole thing was if pirates come out, then you automatically win unless a mermaid comes out. But if a mermaid's beaten by a king, then the king wins. But the king doesn't win if this card comes out, because this card defeats all kings and mermaids. But then the Skull King comes out and wins all, but the Skull King can't beat mermaids. It was that's where it got like, what?
Like 5 minutes into the teach, it turns into Cones of Dunshire, kind of.
Exactly like Cones of Dunshire. Yeah, that was exactly what it's like.
No, I played a lot of Wizard before.
I was going to say, is it like Wizard? It sounds a lot like that.
Yeah, it's very much. I played a lot of Wizard, so I knew how to explain Wizard. A Skull King just adds a couple of new cards to it, so I can get Wizard down, and then I can just say, and then in these situations you might play these cards.
I really like Skull King. I just don't. I'm not convinced I'll ever get it to the table again, based on how difficult we all found it.
Does it need exactly 4 people, or?
No,
it's one of those ones.
Player count, hasn't it? Skull King.
We played it at 6, didn't we, Jerry?
Okay.
We played at quite a big player count.
Yeah.
It's good
because it scales the number of rounds you play.
It goes higher than that, even. Yeah. I really liked it. I thought it was really good, but it was a bit of a tough one for everyone to get their heads around. So I think it kind of put us off a bit.
Well, and
I think for the purposes of covering more people than 2, I do like 2-player games, but I just that's a lot of standing on street corners to just get one game out of one person kind of thing.
That's true.
I feel like Jerry should win this one because Cockroach Poker. It sounds teachable. It's not like I have to teach people 5 minutes of something before sounding like a madder person than someone who just finds people on the street to play games with.
I think that's a very wise choice, Ange. Thank you. Very wise.
My daughter absolutely loves this game. Like she will ask to play it all the time.
Man.
I don't think I've met anyone that doesn't love this game, actually.
I did not like it. I did not like it the first time I played it because of the people I was playing with who were very...
Apart from Ben.
Yeah. But since then, I got rid of it. And then you suggested it again on this somewhere. I thought, I'll give it a go. I picked it up somewhere. It was massive success.
Nice. Okay.
I feel like it'd be easier to teach bluffing than trick taking.
It's very straightforward. It is you could teach it in 2 minutes, really.
Yes. Good. Ghetto Resistance, Cockroach Poker.
Have you been saving the best to last, David?
Best to last?
Not really, because I had Cockroach Poker on my list.
Oh no!
There we go. There you go.
Well, I had a few different ones, and the one I have, but I'm not going to pick yet. It's not my turn. Jerry, you go first on this one.
I'll go first. So I saved this one till last. This is another staple when I'm traveling. I'll bring this one along. Sometimes I find that when packing these smaller box games, they don't provide much game. They're quite shallow, like Cockroach Poker. Very, very simple. So I chose this one because it's a little bit more in depth. I chose Citadels, the 2000 version that comes in that tiny, tiny box.
Oh.
So this is where players take on different roles each round, and they represent these characters they hire, and they help you to acquire gold and build buildings. That's the whole premise of the game. And the game ends when somebody builds their 8th building. So it's very similar to, like, I was trying to find what games it's similar to, but it's like kind of Coup, where you have this draft and you pick characters, and they all have these individual abilities, but they also have a number on the character cards, and that tells you the order in which they activate. So, for example, you might start with like there's a wizard that can swap cards, or there's a warlord who can destroy buildings. The best one probably in the game is the assassin. So when you get the assassin card, very much similar to Coup, you can declare another character and absolutely destroy their turn, and they're out that turn, and you can revel in their misery. So it's wonderful for that sort of thing. But otherwise, beyond like the actual character cards, which is tricky because you have to know how all the characters work to play this game, it is relatively simple. You have to collect gold and you spend gold to build buildings. Some of the buildings give you extra powers that buff the characters or buff other things in the game. But yeah, it's a simple case of using these characters to build buildings. I would definitely suggest Citadels to put into your bag. It's small, it's easy, but it gives you a bit more depth than a lot of other smaller box games. Have you played this one, Ange?
No, I haven't. But have you played Oriflamme?
No, I haven't.
Which has been called Citadels 2?
Yes.
Which I have recently played.
List,
You have, there actually is an assassin card, but it's just cards and coins.
Yep.
And different roles have to. There's only like 12 different roles or something, I think.
I believe Ben, you've recommended Oriflamme, haven't you?
Yeah, I've played it. I've got it.
Yeah,
it's great. It's it's nice. It's really nice.
It's on my list.
It's got different cards that can do different things, and
so you
very quick.
You have the same family. The families do the same things. There's like a knight and a squire and assassin, like you say. You put it face down. You're gonna go from left to right unless it flips over. Then you go right to left, and you just you do the actions of each of those people in that list. Unless you've kept your card face down, and then your card will gain a coin. And then when you turn it over, you'll get all those coins, which are points. It's really nice. But then if you don't turn it over, then they can try and get you. It's really good. It's really, really nice game.
Nice. Well, sounds very similar.
Yeah, I'm popping to London tomorrow, and I was thinking I've got some time, so I might pop into a little game shop and have a look if they've got Oriflamme, because I was thinking that might be a nice one to pick up. So basically, what we're saying is that your choice is void now, Jerry. So.
No, sorry,
it's not void. Because of this.
No, it's actually more intriguing because I've seen a big version of Citadels,
tiny box. Look,
I've seen the small version. I'm like, what did they just make the building smaller? How do they do this?
They literally just repackaged it into a larger box. It's exactly the same game in a larger box, and I think they did.
It's confusing, isn't it? Yeah. The version that you've got is definitely. I would say is probably the best one to get. Bear in mind that that's a normal size box, and Joel just has a massive head.
I do have a huge head.
It's like, is it just further away?
Yeah, more like that.
It's like, here's Hive Pocket. It's a giant.
Yeah, I think the release of Citadels has been confusing because there's about 3 different versions on the market now.
Something like that. Silly, but you want that 2000 version, Ange.
You want that pocket
tiny version, that tiny version. Nevertheless,
nice.
That's my final pick. Ben, let's go to you.
Oh, sorry. Number 3.
No, that's quite right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again,
number 1.
Because you don't need to worry too much about the wind taking away the components. This is very much a
all board gaming tornadoes. It's fine.
Yeah, I had this stuck in my head, so I guess I should go with it.
What is it? It fits in the car. Ben's just like,
okay out
there?
Play
in a blizzard or something.
What do you do when you go out, and you go to
fight
buy
the wind? There's wind everywhere.
Get buffeted by the wind.
Do you not open
I just
the door?
need ballast everywhere.
Okay, so my number 3 can be played just about anywhere. You don't need to put anything down on the table. You can, obviously, but you can play with pens and pencils easily. Someone can hold on it. And it has a huge amount of replayability because the main component is just this pretty steep but very small cards. The game is Wits and Wages.
Mm.
And I do not know anyone who does not like Wits and Wages. Because it's it's a general knowledge game, but whereas most, say, Trivial Pursuit with general knowledge, the person who knows the most is going to win. With this game, you are gambling on who do you think will know the most. So, for example, if a question came up about Australia, I'd say, right, Ange is clearly going to know all about Australia. So I'd bet on her answer before I would bet on mine. Maybe not, who knows?
So
judging by the title cards, David knows everything about Australia. So I'd probably bet on David. But you bet on something, you look at people around you, you think who would know the most about this question, and you would bet on them. And it's about getting, it's always a number. The answer is always a number. It's about getting closer to that number, but not over. You can't go over at all. Absolutely delightful. The original had gambling with poker chips and stuff. That wasn't great because halfway through the game, someone was clearly winning, and it was game over. The newer version has a score tracker of points, so you just climb the score tracker all the time. You've always got a chance. So yeah, just really great game. And again, yeah, windproof as far as I can work out. So it'll be all right.
So what you're saying is they took the gambling out of a game called Wits and Wages.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was apparently there was a bit of people didn't enjoy the poker chips gambling for money. It was a money thing. It was 5 to 1 that you get this all right, or 3 to 1 or whatever. $500 here, $100 there. People weren't comfortable with that in America apparently, so they changed all that. So you can still bet that I bet this person knows the answer more better than, or on this one. You have a big bet and a small bet, so it is kind of betting still.
I was going to say, did they change the words bet
not addictive
and wager, or
yes,
they give you candy instead? This is a bad time to say that I've got the Vegas Baby Edition, which has like the green mat that looks like, like a craps table, and you actually place all the cards and the guesses out.
That's the one we have.
The field, and you've got the chips, and I'm like, oh.
I've heard so much about this game. I've never played it. I've never seen it.
It's really hard to find, shockingly. And the problem is it's a very American-centric game. So playing with Americans, they're having a great time. How many pounds
I did have to get
your
the
average
Australian version.
I don't know, how many pounds is it cost?
Oh, do they do regionalised versions? That would be useful.
We have never found a British version. It's always been American.
I think because it's made by I think it's North Star Games. I could be wrong.
He writes his whole life story in the first page of the book. I absolutely love that. But
this is how it was made. It's like the board game version of one of those recipe blogs.
Yes, the worst. I was out on the fishing boat, fishing, looking at the sea, the waves.
But because every question is the answer is a number, so you have to get close to it or over or whatever.
Yes, you're not allowed to
go
go
have
over.
Trivia based on anything at all that has a number as the answer.
Exactly. So if you started with that and you've run out of questions,
America.
You can make your own again. There you go.
Could
you
write some questions down? Could you not just use the internet as well, just like Google questions based on numbers, that kind of thing?
Thank you for there you go. Brilliant. Zero packing space.
Amazing.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Just make sure you put a stone on the internet before you use it.
You can gamble with your rocks on the beach. It's fine.
Exactly.
They won't blow away.
No, those guys like
nothing with all this sand.
Well, Dave, try and beat that one then, I guess. What have you got?
My one will blow away as soon as a light breeze.
It's a very weak game.
Yeah, it's a very weak game.
Portable.
But it is a very portable game. It's a very small box.
Oh.
And it plays up to 10 people.
Wow.
10.
And it's very, very easy to teach. And that is a game called Six Nymph.
Oh.
So now 6 Nymph outside is fine on a fine day. A single gust of wind will ruin it. But if you have enough stones or acorns or whatever, you could put one on each card as you put them down. So that's fine. Yes.
Already packed.
So yeah, 10 players, up to 10 players. It's fantastic at all player counts.
10?
Yeah, up to 10 people can play this. It's just one of those games. It doesn't really matter how many people play because everyone's playing simultaneously. So it's not going to slow the game down. If anything, having more players. No. If anything, having more players just makes the game more interesting. Really.
Disagree.
I didn't know it was simultaneous play. What game is this?
It's so different at different player counts. anything above 5 or 6 is pretty chaotic. Because
to be fair, I've never played it with more than 6 people.
I have, yeah. 5 and 6 is great because you're trying to put the cards. More than that, it's just bedlam.
Hang on.
Everyone's turning the cards over. You're just getting points left, right, and center.
No, I think I've played it with 7 people maximum.
How do you
it gets
10
heavy.
people?
Oh man, yeah.
That would be insane.
But it is. I mean, but other than that, that's unlikely, right? Not many. I mean, when do you play games with more than 6? Very rarely, right?
Pretty busy. Those street corners Ange's going to be hanging out on. So you never know, right?
But this one would be good for a street corner. You just need like a bucket over. Well, no, a bit more than a bucket. You need a large bucket over there.
Very large.
Yeah, just something like.
I feel like I've painted the completely wrong idea of what's in Australia.
Wind so far is what
wind,
you know.
beaches, and
windy
buckets.
Street corners.
And dodgy board gamers on the corner.
On a beach, it would work fine. Because you can just stick the cards in the sand. Because again, the cards. This goes back to Ben's earlier complaint.
My sleeved copy of 6 Nymph. Yep.
Well, this game has the numbers in every corner, right? So it doesn't matter if you stick half of the card in. You'll be able to see the
That's
numbers.
why I still have this game.
Yeah. but jokes aside, it is a fantastic game. It's fantastic.
This is one of my all-time favorite games. This is one of the greatest games ever. But I had, if you can't have it because the wind. Can't do it.
The wind ruined your list. I didn't take into account the wind, clearly.
Do you remember I texted you? Do you remember I texted you and said, I'm having a real hard time with this. This is really challenging. I didn't realize because a small box game's easy.
Yeah, but I thought when you put the wind emoji, I thought the wind emoji was you farting because you were so nervous about the list.
Not this time. Not this time, Jared. Not this time.
I was thinking of every single windproof, waterproof, everything proof kind of game.
I'm having a real hard time with this guy's wind emoji.
Is everything okay?
Well, and what's the final game you're going to pack?
Look,
so wits and wages.
I think I have to.
What's it going to be?
Look, I really want to play Citadels, but I've got to stop buying games before actually trying them. And the fun thing about 6 Nymph is that you can also play the mind with it, and you can also play the game, which people argue is an activity, not a game, but it's called the game. So here we are. You can also play the game with it because you've got cards numbered from 1 to 100. So. For the Swiss Army knife of card games,
you are
going to lose all your 100 cards on the beach in the hurricane or whatever happens. But
true, it is true.
But you've still got other stuff in the bag. Hopefully.
Do you have the edition with the magnetic clasp on it, Ange?
There's a magnetic clasp
on the box.
On the box of 6 Nymphs.
No.
Oh, what? No.
Can you open the box of 6 Nymphs?
Right now? Australia has just cardboard.
Jerry, mine doesn't have magnetic clasp. What you're thinking of, it's the way it goes. It goes like this, and just closes.
What?
It goes like this, Ange.
Which game is this?
6 Nymphs. My box. It's a really nice. The 10th anniversary edition of it is just this really nice cardboard box that somehow they've designed it so it just closes perfectly. It's beautiful.
It's just slow closes.
Yeah. It's like it just closes on its own. It's lovely.
Wait. One more time. How does it go, Dave?
It goes like this. But you're thinking it's not magnetic.
That seems so satisfying. It's not magnetic though. It's just a slow closing. It's like one of those.
Magnetic. I think it clicked.
Posh toilet seats.
Yeah, exactly like that. You know when you go to a hotel and you don't let go of the toilet seat and then you do and it just goes. Like that
every time
you tip it down, you walk. Oh no, I've dropped it. Oh, it's so fast.
This is YouTube now.
This is a classy toilet.
That will sound amazing as a podcast. It just does this. Yeah.
Wind emoji.
Let's clarify the packing, Ange. We're going for Ghetto Resistance, Cockroach Poker, slow closing 6 Nymphs. Slow closing. We need to get that.
The slow closing. Well, now I have to look for that version. So thanks.
Don't
trying not to buy any more games, but sure.
It might be exaggerating, but it is a nice box.
I do want to try Citadels though. You've sold that to me.
You must try.
Sounds a lot like Oriflamme.
I do need to ask though, what would your choice of game be if you were going to? What's your kind of go-to travel game nowadays?
This is a bad time to say that. Like, I do bring Deep Sea Adventure with me pretty much everywhere.
Okay.
You never know when you can get a game in.
We just clarify that we were told Biblios and Deep Sea could not be on the list.
Yeah.
Before we started.
Not allowed.
pretty much. Yeah. But I'm surprised. Well, you guys probably just aren't into them, but I'm surprised no one mentioned any roll and writes. So that's also.
I had as a runner-up. I did have cartographers actually.
Yeah, I do like cartographers, and I do like.
I like Ganashon. I still play Ganashon on like app.
There's a weird Uwe game called Second Chance, and I just fit it with some coloring pencils in a plastic bag thing. But it is basically coloring in / Tetris, so it's about as portable as a pad of paper and some pencils are.
Yeah.
I did have runners up, but I tried to pick apart from Hive, obviously, because Hive was just perfect for outdoors anyway. But otherwise, it was more games that you could play with multiple people that were quite simple to teach. That was what I was trying to go
ones.
Apart from the 2-player ones.
My runner-up was thanks for asking, Joe. My runner-up was.
Why are you still talking?
You had like 6 backup choices.
I did actually ask sort of genres or themes that Ange liked.
Oh, it was you.
I was going to go for an RPG, just getting a role-playing game book in there, but I thought, it didn't.
You can always carry dice around.
Exactly, and a couple of bits of paper.
Yeah.
Hey.
Good.
Well, hey, what about you, Joey? Did you have a runner-up?
My runner-up was going to be King Domino, but I figured that box is a little too big. But I do love King Domino.
Yeah.
It's a bit too big, though, the box. It's not really travel-friendly.
It fits in a car. It's,
you could probably condense that down, right, into a smaller box.
It's just because of obviously the tiles are quite chunky and they do take up the majority of the space in the box.
They should do a travel version of King Domino.
It feels like they should, because it is a wonderful game.
This should have been what game should be a travel version that isn't yet.
I like that game a lot. My other one was Arboretum, but that can grow quite large as you're building your Arboretum up. So
that will definitely blow away.
That would blow away as well.
Yeah, that would
but it would look lovely as it does so. Just like a jogger on the beach watching Beth Sobel's art fly by their face into a dolphin.
Well, there you have it, Ange. You're all packed. You're all ready to go.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Go back, write down some notes, do a bit of last-minute shopping, and the car's not even full now, so it's great.
Perfect.
Well, obviously, I hope you don't get halfway and then think food and water.
But we have that.
Okay. Just full of board games and windbreakers.
Yeah, that's it. Priorities.
Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, because we haven't forgotten our precious listeners, if you would like to suggest your favourite travel games, Dave, how can they get in touch with the show and to make those suggestions?
You can find us on Board Game Geek, where we have a guild, number 3879, or you can just find us by our Back of the Shelf podcast title. You can join us on Instagram at back.of.the.shelf, on Facebook, Back of the Shelf podcast, and you can email us at backoftheshelfpodcast@gmail.com. And if you like the professionalism and enjoy what we do, you can support us on coffee.com, Back of the Shelf podcast. Thanks.
Excellent stuff. Well, Ange, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thanks for joining us again.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Obviously,
thanks for helping me out.
No problem. It's our pleasure. I'm sure our choices are. You're going to take. Oh, I don't know what you're going to do with them. You're going to ignore them, probably, aren't you? It's fine.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, you let us know. Well, in the meantime, I think we'll wrap things up there. So, well, Dave, do you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Ben, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
That was the wrong button. Goodbye.
What was the wrong button?